Hi, my name is Jonathan Hicks. I'm back at the Dice Cup, and today I'm joined by
Amy.
Steve. And we just finished playing OctoDice, which is a dice version of Aquasphere, which is a sort of big box Stefan Feld game. But it's a roll and write, this one. So on your turn, you're rolling all these dice, and you get to keep 2 of them. So maybe I decide to keep this one and this one. You can keep any 2 dice you like, and then you roll the rest of them. So I roll this, maybe I decide this time to keep this one and this one, and then you roll the final 2 dice, and you're sort of stuck with what you've got there. Now, having done that, you then need to pick 3 pairs, and you're always pairing a white die with a black die. So I might take that pair, and that pair, for example. And then once you've paired them up, you're picking 2 pairs to write or cross off on your roll and write grid. And the different symbols, like the robot here, or this is the lab symbol, do different things. And it's sort of matching on the sheet here. So if you roll a crystal, imagine this was a crystal, then the number is the number of points you're going to get. So you kind of cross off one of the crystal, and the question mark is for the number of points. And for your first turn, you're writing the numbers in here. So I would write 1 point in here. Then for the second dice I choose, the second number would go in here. So with crystals, you just get the point. For the wheelie symbol, the cog, you first of all have to get a yellow one. So actually this would be no good because it's green. Once you've crossed off the yellow one, which gets you 1 point, then you'd need the red one. Oh, look at that, it's red now. So then I could cross off this one, that will give me 2 points. And so you carry on going, but you've got to do those in order. And again, you just write the points in for your go at the bottom. This is the lab one, which allows you to upgrade on the lab. So I did have a lab one, that's right. So lab, in this case, the colour doesn't matter, it's the number. Your cubes start at the top, and you kind of move them down onto the appropriate section according to the number at the bottom right. So if I was at the top here and I wanted to move down, I'd have to get a 0 on the dice, so I couldn't use it for this one. But if I'm already here, I can move down onto the 1 by using the 1 there. So you're kind of moving down, and these get you special abilities. So for example, for this one, whenever you move down on one of the labs, you get a bonus point. This one, whenever you roll a yellow 0, you can actually pretend that's any colour and number dice you like. So these will help you as various special abilities, and typically if you get to the bottom of these sections, you're going to get end game scoring. So for example, this is getting you points according to the number of submarines you've rolled at the end of the game. Now submarines are connected with robots, so when you roll a robot, where the robot went, there we go, you can cross off a matching colour. So in this case, if it's a blue one, I'll cross off the blue one to the left first of all, that will get me 1 point. And the next time it comes around, see I've already crossed off the green one, if I cross off another green one here, that will get me 2 points. The submarines, again, it's the colour that matters, and you just cross off the appropriate colour. I managed to get all my submarines in this game. And at the end of each round, so you kind of have one turn where you cross off, you pick 2 pairs and you get 2 sets of points. You do it again, obviously everyone else is having turns in between. And then at the end of the section here, you're going to get points according to the submarines that match the robots. So because this yellow submarine's got 2 robots, I get 2 points. This submarine's got no robots, so that would get me no point. This green one's got 1 robot, so I get 1 point for that. So you add up the number of robots for crossed off submarines, and you're getting a big pile of points potentially for submarines as you go through. Now something else is you can also do on someone else's turn. So imagine someone else has rolled a set of dice. You get to pick one thing, 1 pair if you like, from theirs. But you can pick a different pair from what they've rolled. So you might decide, oh, I'm going to pick this one and this one. And you kind of make your own pair. And that one you can then use on your sheet somewhere, and you cross it off. So on 2 other people's turns, potentially, you get some extra points. So you have 2 turns with 2 extra copies, add up your points, do the same thing 3 times, and then there's a bit of endgame scoring. Now the last thing is the octopods. Every dice has got, where are they? There he is, it's hiding. The black and the white dice have both got octopods on, and you cross off the number of octopods you have showing here, but you have to have crossed off at least 2 by the end of the section, otherwise you're going to lose 2 points. There's a minus 2 points there. So once you cross those off, you get to cross off the -2, so you're not losing points. But also, however many octopods you cross off on one sort of turn, you're going to get points for them. So if you manage to cross off 4 octopods, or sort of roll 4 octopods, then you're going to get bonus 4 points, which you can just fill in here. So as I say, 3 rounds, if you like, of 2 turns each. There's a bit of endgame scoring depending on where you got to on here, and then you add up most points wins. What do we think?
I really like this as a roll and write. It's really silly fun. I like that it's got kind of an upgrade track. That's really cool, quite unique to a roll and write. It is quite difficult to score high. There's a lot of turns you'll be scoring absolutely nothing because you're just going down a track or trying to get a few more robots or a submarine, which don't necessarily score you a lot, if anything, in the beginning. but then you get bonuses for them later on. So it's all about kind of trying to ramp up that scoring ready for later rounds sometimes, and most of the time your scores are going to increase each round, but sometimes you just have a terrible roll and get a really low score. Saying that, it doesn't make it a not very fun game. It is very fun. I like it. Yeah, it's good.
Steve?
It's got engine building and a tech tree in a roll and write, which is really weird. I quite like it, and it doesn't really feel like any other roll and write. It feels a bit more like a really, really light Euro game. And it's quite nice. And one of the things that roll and write should do, if you're ever making a roll and write in the future, is you should be something to do on someone else's turn. And there is. Even if that decision is whether to copy them or not, because in a 4-player game you've got 3 people to copy over 2 rounds, so there's 6 turns you can copy, and you can only copy twice. But you're thinking, right, okay, really, what do I really need? I really need Yellow Submarine. Jonathan didn't roll one, I'm not going to copy Jonathan's turn. Steve didn't roll one, I'm not going to copy on Steve's turn, or something like that. In a 3 or 2-player game, you'd be copying more frequently, but you're getting the same number of actions. It is an engine builder. Amy said there are several actions that get you no points, but those actions are setting you up later for either getting better abilities or setting up for points later on. And the different strategies you've got kind of do different things. You can score points in all these different ways, and you kind of pick one and do lots of it over the course of the game. If you're going down the submarine strategy, submarines are worthless unless you're also getting robots. If you're going down the tech tree, well, if you've already started to go down, you might as well try and get to the bottom to get those endgame points. So you kind of trying to balance doing a lot of one particular thing, and you're hoping. The problem is, it is a dice game. You might not roll those dice, and there aren't any re-rolls. You have got 3 chucks of the dice as such, but on your last one, whatever you roll on your last one is stuck in like Gansha and Clever and stuff. Although you've got 3 chucks of the dice, you've got ability to acquire bonuses and re-rolls and stuff like that. So you can acquire stuff from tech trees to kind of mitigate some of the dice rolls, but whatever you roll on those last 2 dice, if it's not what you wanted, well, then you stuffed a bit.
Rating?
I like it, 8 out of 10.
I'd give it a 7.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's solid. Certainly there's plenty to do in terms of the tech tree and thinking about all the different sections, because you can't do everything, and it's well designed in that sense. You've got to pick typically maybe 2, possibly 3 of the sections and kind of go as far as you can on those sections. Because of the engine building thing, you want that to build up. My only real criticism, it's quite hard to mitigate bad dice rolls. Both me and Steve were going for robots and submarines, and he rolled far more robots than I did and scored quite a bit better. So there are ways, the odd way you can mitigate dice, but it's not easy, not as easy as it would be in other roll and writes like Gunstar and Clever or something like that. So I think it's solid, and if you want that kind of Euro feel in a very small package, I think it does it very well. I'd be on a 7 out of 10. Thanks very much for watching. That was OctoDice.